Welcome to the Embedded Finance Review podcast. My name is Lars Markull. I'm excited to finally speak with a non-financial brand again. And for a change, it's not a tech company. Today I'm speaking with Christopher Meyer-Mölleringhof from Fressnapf MaxiZoo. The company is a pet retailer and sells food, toys and other items for your dog, fish or cat. The brand Fresnapf is quite present in the German market, and even people without pets, like myself, have noticed their stores before. Fresnapf is offering an embedded insurance product for pets, and Christopher is the person behind this. I'm speaking with him about how embedded insurance looks like for a pet retailer, why he thinks their product could be a blueprint, and his personal views on the overall embedded insurance landscapes. And before we start, a quick heads up that we are hosting our 5th Embedded Finance Review event on February 11th in Frankfurt, Main. We focus on the role of banks and have a great agenda and sponsors. Visit our website, embeddedfinancereview.com, and head to events to find more details and register. And now, let's dive in. Hi, Christopher. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today, and in what part of the world are you located right now?
Hi, Lars. Thank you for the invitation. I'm doing good. I'm caught a little cold, but feeling okay, feeling good. Happy to be with you today, and I'm located in Munich.
Great. So maybe this podcast episode gives you a bit more energy. Obviously, beginning of the year, the usual time where people have troubles with colds and these things. Christopher, today we're going to do a bit of a deep dive on the topic of embedded insurance for pets. So I guess maybe a good intro or kickoff question is, you personally, are you rather a pet guy or an insurance guy? What's your background?
Well, I love pets. I'm in love with dogs, and I spent my entire career so far at innovating, building, and transforming businesses. It's my passion, and I have done it the last years in the area of insurance business.
Interesting. So you have a long background in insurance, or?
Yeah, well, I started my career at consulting, then I switched to the insurance industry. I was head of innovation at a traditional insurance company, and then I switched again. And currently I have been building up and leading the pet insurance business at Fressnapf MaxiZoo. For the ones that don't know Fressnapf MaxiZoo, it's Europe's biggest pet care retailer.
And yeah, I think we connected on LinkedIn a couple of weeks ago. I think after one of my previous podcasts around the topic of embedded insurance. Back then, it was rather high level, touching on a different kind of like areas in embedded insurance. So I was quite intrigued and interested when you reached out to me. And I obviously know the Fressnapf brand here in Germany. I'm not a pet owner myself, but I think for most Germans, it's the case that you have seen the brand in a local offline store, or obviously also through online marketing. So quite a present brand, but I have never heard about the embedded insurance product. So quite interested to dive a little bit deeper into that. Can you maybe share a little bit the story of Fressnapf, how this started with the embedded insurance? Is that something that you were hired for building? Yeah. How were like the initial days of this product, and what's maybe the goal of it?
I was hired to build it up, and I directly saw the big potential. And why it's this, I will go into detail later on. And just to start with, Fressnapf MaxiZoo, as I said, is Europe's leading pet care retailer. And they follow an ecosystem strategy. That means they want to be able to provide everything to pets that's relevant from birth to death. And the pet insurance business is, first of all, very, very interesting because there's a big demand in the market. It's a great emotional topic to connect with customers and to strengthen the connection, the relationship with the customer. It's very interesting from a commercial point of view, and a very good topic to connect to other products and services in the pet care retail ecosystem. I can give you some more examples of this later on. Maybe to start with, we're acting as insurance agent. We are cooperating with insurance companies. We focus on the German market. We have a co-brand with Petolo Insurtech. And we just recently launched our own white label brand, MaxiZoo Assurance, in France, making us kind of a quasi insurance company offering a unique offering, which I will explain later.
Like the company Fressnapf MaxiZoo wants to take care of the whole life cycle of the pet from like birth to death, how you described it. So I think if you have that mindset, then obviously insurance, and we'll talk a lot more about maybe the customer journey and not the insurance product itself for these animals. But that seems like Is it, I don't know, is it normal in the industry? I mean, if I were, I don't know, when I think about a pet retailer, I think a pet retailer perhaps thinks a lot about selling more dog food and these kind of things. But it seems like the company has thought quite a lot about that. And it sounds like that embedded insurance it's not like the company is, I don't know, fallen for the buzzword of embedded finance, and that's why they want to get in there. They just understood, okay, what other products do our customers need that potentially they can get from us as well, even though we might not be historically the first choice for getting the product from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of embedded use case, right? It's not a traditional one where the insurance product is basically just embedded into another product. It is that we are selling the product also without any product connected. And it's a very great and new approach how a non-insurance company that does have access to the customer base, that does have the insights into the customers and the needs, and is leveraging its brand, its trust to become a kind of quasi-insurance company, offering their own customized solution by leveraging their competitive advantages to create a competitive advantage in the landscape.
That makes sense. And as mentioned, I would like to maybe in the following question go a little bit deeper into the customer journey. How does it exactly look like, and what do you mean by like embedding it into, or doing it embedded but not into an actual other product? But before doing that, maybe quick question: when we talk about pet insurance, embedded pet insurance at Fressnapf,
it's a health insurance for dogs and cats, and the liability insurance for dogs.
So it's basically two types of insurance products that can be combined. I mean, one for dogs and one for cats in addition.
Exactly.
And then let's take the example. I mean, I said I'm not a pet owner myself, but let's just assume I'm getting a new dog tomorrow. Obviously, I pick it up from the breeder. How would you typically, how is the insurance product embedded in the customer journey? Maybe, I don't know, I'm going even to Fresnapf. I actually have one very close to my home here. So maybe I even go before I get the dog, I buy the first items. How would it look like signing up for the insurance product?
We focus on multi-channel distribution. That means that customers can access our pet insurance offering virtually from all brand touchpoints. The quote and buy, the sales funnel, the funnel where you can buy the product, completely digital. It's very simple, convenient, stylishly. So it's not the old way that people are used to from the traditional insurance company. So for me, it was always extremely important then that insurance product is, you can buy it actually easily in 2 minutes using your mobile phone lying on the couch on a Sunday afternoon. So I give you an example how we use all our brand touch points to advertise the pet insurance offering or to directly integrate the quote and buy funnels. Let's say you are browsing the e-commerce website, reading articles about pet health. You get confrontation with our pet insurance offering. If you are using the app shopping for pet food, you can directly click easily and you end up on our website or directly in a sales funnel. And if you're reading newsletters, or in Germany, for example, we also integrated the offering. We made it possible to get information about the offerings in over 900 stores, the physical stores, where you can go to buy dog food, for example. And as you just said, you become like a new parent. You just got your dog from breeder. You go to Fresnapf because the most relevant brand, a loved brand, and you go into the store and you get the first consultation on what's really important to buy to have a dog at home. And then you get in contact with the insurance offering, giving you all the information you need to actually buy the product. And we have been already also testing ideas how to make it possible to quote and to directly buy in the stores with digital solutions.
I mean, that was my point as well. I think all of us, including the listeners, myself, can of course very easily imagine the case that you described. I'm sitting on the couch and maybe doing some research on Google or using your mobile app to shop some products that then I get presented the opportunity for an insurance product. And then from there, it's pretty straightforward in quotation mark. way. But I would also assume that specifically the offline store has a unique position where you can actually make the selling and promotion of the insurance products even different. So quite nice to hear that obviously me as a first pet owner or the first time pet owner going to a store, I might actually not just like pick up some random stuff, but might go to a person and ask what recommendations are, and then being also introduced to the topic of, okay, what about your insurance? We also have something potentially, maybe, I don't know, just giving a QR code and then you can follow up on it later on and dive it deeper into it. But as you mentioned, you also looking into ways to even do maybe with an iPad, a tablet, somewhere there, the direct sign up for the insurance product.
Exactly, to get some information, to send it to your email, to buy it in the store on a tablet. Those kind of solutions are tested and quite promising.
And if I remember correctly, you said you're offering this product, the insurance product, in Germany and France.
Yeah.
But it sounded like there was a big difference in the way you're doing it, right? If I remember correctly, you said in Germany you have partnered with your insurance, and in France you rather opted for a slightly different approach. So quite keen to hear, maybe you can elaborate a little bit on the two different approaches, and also maybe what resulted in like Germany the one way and France the other way.
Yes, in Germany, we have a co-brand with a well-known and very successful insurtech, Etolo. So we are acting as partners on a co-brand basis, and it's very successful. And in France, we also switched the model a little bit. And this is somehow special because we decided to go for a white label solution. So it's also a partnership with insurance company, for example, but it's completely co-created and therefore 100% customized and 100% in the look and feel of the MaxiZoo brand.
And from your perspective, I mean, what's worthwhile? I mean, obviously, in my understanding is right now, or my thinking right now is, okay, in Germany there was a brand available, so to say, or let's say an insurtech provider who has a certain brand in that area, which you can leverage and rather do a co-brand. So it's not just Fresnapf. Maybe something like this didn't really happen in France, but quite keen to hear, like, if I don't know, if you were, I'm not sure if you're in what other markets you're operating, but if you were launching in another market, in the third, fourth, fifth market, is there now, like, having both these approaches in these two markets, is there like kind of a preference, or does it depend on the individual markets?
It depends on the individual markets. There is personal preference, right? But it always depends on the market. And especially for the white label solution, I think it's a very, very great way for a non-insurance company to become quasi-insurance and being able to offer its own unique, innovative white label brand pet insurance offering and leveraging all the strengths to create sustainable competitive advantage. I mean, as I said, we have the access to the customers. We have the brand. So, and if you do a white label solution, you can completely leverage this brand that millions of animal lovers trust. Well, it's not co-branded with somebody else. It's the MaxiZoo assurance. And we invested also a lot of energy in game-changing the product. For me, it has always been extremely important that it's a real strength, a strong health insurance, right? Not a nice to have full of exclusions, what you see with many different competitors out there, but coverage, what really counts. That's why we are, for example, in France, I'm very proud to be the first and only ones yet that also cover breed-specific diseases and many more. I spoke already about the multi-channel distribution, the very easy digital quote and buy. And this is also connected to the product, right? So you need to have a great product with a very simple and transparent logic to be able to sell it completely digital without the need of any consultation. Yeah, that's the biggest challenge for the traditional insurance industry. That what we solve, for example, also that kind of partnership. And it was also extremely great to make a bigger step into a successful ecosystem integration. I mean, what we have is our ecosystem. That means we have many, many different products and services that are anyway sold to the customers. Well, in contrast to the competition, we are able to offer more than just insurance because we have those products and those services. And it's super great to integrate them to make the product even more available, and also great opportunity for after sales. I'll give you an example. We integrated our digital vet into our product, right? So you can call the digital vet at a flat rate for free. And there are other benefits that you have exclusively as a MaxiZoo customer if you buy our product, discounts on many things. And this is something that helps to create more value. It is very good for cross and upselling. And of course, a big competitive advantage to the competition because they don't have the ecosystem.
And that makes a lot of sense. You touched on a couple of points there, but maybe to put it in a separate question is, my favorite question when talking to non-financial brands is, how do you define success for these kind of efforts, right? Because if I repeat what you said before, obviously Fressnapf, MaxiZoo thinks a lot about the ecosystem and doesn't want to sell only food to the dog owner, but does a lot more. You even mentioned the digital vet, which I guess is maybe a similar kind of like added on service besides the embedded insurance product. So we can see already there's a lot of services offered to pet owners. So the question would be, I mean, I guess obviously the company probably doesn't want to lose too much money on the embedded insurance thing, but is like a pure revenue from the insurance product the most important factor, or is it relevant, but even more relevant from your point of view is even the ecosystem play where basically you can obviously, the more I'm engaged with the brand, right? I mean, like every day I go out and I realize my dog doesn't have any food, or we don't have any food at home anymore for the dog. My question, okay, where do I buy now, right? And obviously I can go to the Fresnapf nearby, but I can also probably go somewhere else to other offline stores or even go to other brands online, right? With the insurance, with the digital vet, and maybe a lot of other efforts, you can even bring the customer to shop a lot more with you. And that in that way, I would potentially expect that revenue from insurance business is nice, but probably the impact on the greater business, on the core business, could be even bigger. Or what's your view on that?
I mean, both. The pet insurance business is extremely attractive from a commercial point of view. Yeah, it's very profitable, especially if you're a company with access to the customer base without investing a lot of money into customer acquisition. It's a big competitive advantage also because you're already in touch with the customers, right? So from a commercial point perspective, it's very attractive and would be also very interesting if it's standalone. But as you said, it's the connection with other things, the integration into the ecosystem. And it's also about just delivering the best possible solution out there. So you have a name out there, name people trust. And the most important thing is that you're worth the trust, that you do everything to make the customer happy, to keep a great relationship and take care that they come back to buy all the other stuff that MaxiZoo is anyways offering.
The setup you have, I mean, you mentioned already that in Germany, it's a partnership with another brand. In France, you have your own setup, a white label setup. Is that something also you can potentially from France leverage for other markets, or do you have to build in each market a local setup?
No, it's a good thing that you just mentioned. Both is somehow scalable, especially the men what we built with the white label solution. It's somehow a European blueprint where you can scale the same, let's call it like easily into other countries with local adaptations. But for me, it was always extremely important that a solution is scalable and you think it big and completely through from the first minute on.
Since you described yourself at the beginning of the interview or the beginning of the podcast as the, let's say, coming from the insurance industry and having quite some experience on that side, what was your first thought when if you applied for the job, or if somebody reached out for you? What were you first thinking? Okay, building an insurance business at Fresnapf. Was it like, I mean, now talking about all the things, it sounds, and you also sound pretty excited about it. Took that some time at the beginning to kind of grasp the whole opportunity, or what was your view initially on the gig?
I was interested and fascinated from the first minute on. Well, Fresnapf MaxiZoo is a very cool employer, giving a lot of opportunities for entrepreneurial people to develop ideas. There are many great people working with a lot of energy and spirit. But most important, I saw the potential of that business, not only from a commercial point of view, but what it makes so interesting for me is that this idea that a non-insurance player becomes insurance company somehow, that is a big threat that is on every strategy map in every traditional insurance company. Most of the time they think, oh my God, maybe it's Google, Apple, PayPal, whatever. But somehow there are many, many other options to think about. And Fressnapf, the Fressnapf case is just a perfect example how a new type of embedded insurance is possible because it's somehow different. It's not a product that is somehow complementary embedded into another product. Yeah, and it's sold without brand emotions or anything like added ecosystem services. As we see it right now, if you go to a car rental dealer or if you're on a holiday booking platform. This is a traditional embedded insurance case, which is super profitable and super interesting. But it's like the old kind of embedded insurance. The new kind of embedded insurance use case is there is somebody that does have the access to the customer base, that does have the brand trust, and says, let's create our own insurance offering. And I think it's so super interesting also for product innovations. I mean, if you take a look into the insurance industry and you take a look about product innovations, there is almost no product innovation. I mean, take the look for the classical embedded cases. They take those partners as distribution channel and they sell basically established old products. Yeah, a car insurance is nothing new, right? Or I don't know, a travel insurance is nothing new. The same is true with the InsurTech scene. The InsurTech scene is great at digital sales, yeah, but most of the time they're also selling established products. And imagine now you have a non-insurance company, player like Fressnapf, that says, well, I mean, I have ambition. Let's play this case. I have ambition. I have a brand. I have access to customers. I have deep insights into this, to those customers, and I explore risks that are worth to cover. And they go to insurance company and say, well, look, I bring so much on the table. I just need you now to cover that risk as insurance company, to act as a risk carrier. And everything else can be done with a third-party provider, InsurTech, or by yourself. And that's would allow a lot of product innovation in that terms, because I have been years into innovations at the insurance industry, and you don't see product innovations that well because many of the traditional insurance companies, they don't do innovation activities, or they don't have customer insights outside their current portfolio. Yeah. So who do you ask about pets? Somebody at insurance or somebody at Fresnapf? Yeah. At Fresnapf, they will always know more about pet owners and their feelings than somebody at the insurance company. The same about traveling. Travel company will always know more about traveling than insurance company. Then you have a big dependence on the human agent as the main distribution channel. Yeah. So if you come with a completely new idea, you will find hard times to convince them to sell that. Yeah, because there's no margin on it in the beginning, right? Like in every new business, this takes time to sell. You don't have a real affinity for digital direct sales as a traditional insurance company. And even if you have, you fear the risk of investment. And with every new idea, you need to invest into customer acquisition. Yeah. And imagine now you have somebody that says, well, I have access to the customer. We don't need to invest millions of euros to build a brand to reach the customer. That would allow to test new ideas more easily. And I'm pretty sure there are so many ideas out there that would work and even better if it's not done by a traditional insurance company or InsurTech, but by somebody that has the brand and the trust of those prospect customers.
Christopher, all your learnings you have made now, I mean, since basically leaving the classic insurance industry and now working at a pet retailer building these insurance products, all the learnings you have made now in the last few years in this role, what's your overall view on the embedded insurance landscape? I mean, like specifically, you have, I think that you highlighted right now very well, you have described the the criteria why Fresnapf can be successful in these things. So quite keen to understand, maybe from your own view on other industries or other areas, what other trends do you think could be there for embedded insurance? Is it something that can be taken to a lot of different verticals? Is it something really focused in some verticals?
Yeah, I mean, embedded insurance is more than a trend. It will grow significantly the next 5 to 10 years. I think there will be many more of the traditional cases where you as insurance company try to find partners as distribution partners, finding more partners to sell your travel insurance to, or using this partner to sell that travel insurance, for example. But I really hope, and I'm quite confident that there will be more use case like the one that I just described, where you follow this new approach by bringing the partners together, especially like motivating insurance players, other verticals to think together how to provide insurance coverage to your target group, be it is an embedded solution as a complementary product or something completely new. I call it somehow it's embedding insurance as a service. And it's, as I said, it's, for example, the most relevant part is like this visionary strategic part, because you have insurance companies, they can take the risk, they build the product somehow. You have a lot of young companies entering the market that do digital distribution, acting as providers, helping traditional insurance companies to become more digital. And now it's time for the third part, the non-insurance part, to understand that becoming your own quasi-insurance company and making a lot of money with it is quite reasonable and not so complicated than many people think, because, well, you speak with non-insurance people and they think, oh my God, insurance business, full of regulation and everything. Yes. But if you have the right people, the right mindset, and the right partners, you can create something really unique in co-creation.
Yeah, thanks, Christopher, for sharing your insight. I recap now the last half an hour where we spoke about all these things. I think what stands for me out is, obviously, you haven't spoken also on this podcast about embedded insurance before. It's still, for me, like in a way, a bit of an unknown area, as I'm not spending so much in the insurance sector. Again, I'm not a pet owner, but thinking specifically the pet industry, where people obviously want to take care and they love their pets, and they're also willing to spend money on products that they previously have not seen before when they learn about these things. And then obviously in combination with that, Fresnapf is obviously a main business retailer, but then also understands very well that it's not just about the retail business, but there's a lot of other services you can build on top of it. And it's basically a whole life cycle customer journey that you need to take care. And obviously all these initiatives, the insurance and the virtual vet, are all efforts how you can basically push your main product even more, in addition to making some money on these new ventures.
Yeah, it's all about the pets. And if you do it right, insurance will always be a very attractive field of business now and in the future. And I'm super interested to follow this development.
Thanks for sharing your insight. I mean, especially for myself, learned quite a bit. If there's a listener out there who wants to get in touch with you and maybe has a couple of more questions, I think all my previous listeners always said LinkedIn. So is LinkedIn also your choice when somebody wants to reach out to you and ask a couple of questions, maybe about Fresnapf and your insurance business?
Yeah, LinkedIn is the easiest. Just add me as a contact, write me a message, and I'm happy to get in touch with you.
Perfect. Thanks again, Christopher.
Thank you.
And until next time.
Thank you for listening. For more episodes and our weekly newsletter, please visit embeddedfinancereview.com. And please reach out if you have an interesting embedded finance story to tell. Until next time.